for joining us. This is OneTV Network Global News. I am Florida. First, the headlines. Sule Lamido warns Jonathan over defection to APC. 143 PDP aspirant Joto for Adamowar's 25-member House of Assembly. And Buhari decries frequency of building collapse in Nigeria. For instance, Spain dictated Pengasol's spyware on PM, Defense Minister's funds, plus other stories after this break. Just stay with us. Welcome back. We begin the news this hour. Story coming in from Rivers State. The Rivers State Police Command says its operative have been deployed to Afam and local communities in the Oyibo anti-local government areas of the state respectively, following the killing of a pastor, Abraham Yoka. The State Commissioner of Police Friday Bukaho disclosed this on the telephone while answering questions from newsmen. Said the police had a lead one of those behind the attack on the local community last Thursday. Yoka was reportedly shot dead by gunmen believed to be members of a local vigilante group who invaded the local community in LGA, shooting sporadically and burning houses. Moving on, political observers believe the rate of women's participation in politics across the country is low. Former member of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Victoria Nyeche, agrees, noting that the statistics of women in governance is very poor in the lower chamber and other levels of governance. She explained further that the reason for women's low participation is because politics has always been a male-dominated field.
The rate of participation of women in politics is actually very poor, because you find out that in the Senate, for example, out of 109 officers and out of 109 senators, you actually have about 7 women, and that's less than, about 6% or less. If you talk about the House of Assembly, where you have across the nation about 999 lawmakers, you have about 45 or so that are women. We actually have 15 states where you have no woman at all in the State House of Assembly. And it's very poor statistics. In Rivers State, for example, while I was there in the 8th Assembly, I was the only woman. Even right now, there's only 1 woman out of 32 men. The statistics, even in the House of Reps, is not any better. The fact that politics has been a male-dominated venture from the beginning, and trying to change that status quo has been difficult, because women have to grapple with all kinds of biases that they face. Some persons think that politics is a game for the strong, and because women are perceived not to be physically strong, most times they are not considered. And you find out that because the political structure that determines who the candidates are is favored, favors the men, you find out that most times men are the ones that emerge as candidates. So if you have, let's say, an executive committee at the ward level of maybe 20 members, and have only the position of the woman leader, maybe assistant woman leader.
Honorable Nyeche also urged women to come out en masse to support themselves, adding that they must take a stand and stop being silent.
That will prepare, that will build political capital over time, so that these things will speak for you. And secondly is the need to synergize. As women, we need to keep supporting ourselves, and then we need to learn to work with the men, because even the women cannot do it. We have people who can stand for us and stand with us, even in our quest for inclusive governance, especially as it involves the women.
Moving on, we'll take you straight to Bayelsa State, where the new Nigerian People's Party has expressed serious concern about the murder of its member Sunday Oputa in Bayelsa State and the rising spate of killings in other parts of the country. In a statement issued over the weekend, the chairman of NNPP, Prof. Rahuf Akali, observed that the assassination carried the signature of a politically motivated act, stressing that it is capable of eroding the confidence of the people in the ability of the Nigerian state to protect the lives and property of its people all over the country. According to the statement, Oputa was a former chairman of the Conference of the Nigerian Political Parties and Inter-Party Advisory Council in Bayelsa State before joining the new Nigerian People's Party. Moving on, the former governor of Imo State, Honorable Emeka Ihedior, has appealed to the leadership, members and timid supporters of the People's Democratic Party in the state to consider the larger interests of the party, especially in their utterances and actions on the issues arising from the PDP World Congress for the election of a three-man ad hoc delegates in the state. Ihedior, who stated this on Monday in a release made available by his media aide Chibuike Onyechukwu in Owerri, states that efforts are ongoing to resolve all the issues that arose from the Congress. The former Deputy Speaker reiterated his confidence in the leadership of the National Chairman, Senator Yocha Hanyu, as a man of integrity to dispassionately resolve all the issues. Honorable Ihedior commended Engineer Charles Ugu-led Executive Committee of the party for their commitment and uttering efforts to reposition the party and enjoin members to continue to stand with the leadership of the party as they take all necessary steps to restore calm. Moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari said the rate at which a building collapsed in the country is assuming an alarming degree. The president stated this while commiserating with the families of those who died and sustained injuries after a three-story building collapse at Ebute Meta area of Lagos State. He noted that it is high time relevant state authorities worked closely with professional bodies to put a halt to these unfortunate and preventable incidents. His reaction came through a statement circulated by his media aide, Femi Adesina, on Monday. You're watching OneTV Network Global News. The news return after this break. To stay with us.
You've done so much for me, I cannot tell it all.
Welcome back. If you have just joined us, this is OneTV Network Global News. And now to more stories. A former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, has warned former President Goodluck Jonathan against dumping the People's Democratic Party for the All Progressive Congress. According to Lamido, Jonathan risks Gore's wrath if he succumbs to the calls to dump PDP for APC. Reacting to such calls, former President Jonathan said he could not tell if he would run for presidency in 2023. However, Lamido, a PDP chieftain, cautioned Jonathan against defecting to APC because the opposition party invested a lot in him. Lamido said the former president should consider the suffering of PDP members who stood by him during the 2015 campaign before opting to defer to APC. He added that Jonathan should also consider that the APC persecuted PDP members for supporting Jonathan during the 2015 presidential election. Still talking political stories, the social commentator and former chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulating Commission, NEC, Sam Amadi, has stated why he doesn't support the 2023 presidential bid of former Lagos Governor Bola Tinubu. In a Facebook post, Amadi said the All Progressive Congress leader is, quote, perhaps the greatest politician in Nigeria today, end of quote, while he will not vote for him or support him because Amadi's opinion, his profile is very questionable in many ways. In his words, if Tinubu is president, it may look to some people as the equivalent of Nigerians being ruled by a one-man mafia, some would say a criminal gang. It will recall that in social circles, many continue to question the sources of Tinubu's wealth, which grew after he left the Lagos seat of power in 2007. Still on politics, Igbo Apex Social Cultural Organization, or Aneze Ndigbo, has continued to maintain its course for the presidency to return to the southern part of the country ahead of the 2023 presidential election. The group said the Northern Elders Forum are against zoning of the presidency because it wears the turn of the Southeast to produce Nigeria's president. Aneze Ndigbo was reacting to NEF's recent opposition to the zoning of the presidency to the south and said the northern body was trying to destroy what balances Nigeria instead of seeking solution to the country's problem. Aneze recalled how power rotated from former President Olusegun Obasanjo southwest to Musa Yar'Adua north, to Goodluck Jonathan south, and to President Muhammadu Buhari north. The group stated that the issue of rotation of power was conceived in 1994 by some Nigerian patriots to ensure equity and inclusiveness of all parts of the country. The group said that the NEF is aware that Nigeria has religiously followed the rotation and zoning principle since 1999, adding that by the rotation and zoning principle that has been in operation in Nigeria, it is only fair that the presidency be zoned to the south, specifically to southeast region. Some stakeholders have been clamoring that the southeast should produce Nigeria's next president in 2023. Similarly, a social cultural group, Aneze Ndigbo, Monday rebuked Ralph Wazirike over his endorsement of Yahaya Bello for the 2023 presidential election. Wazirike, founder of the movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, Mozob, now leader of Biafra independence movement, and over the weekend disowned the Igbo presidency project. His action came as a shock to Ndigbo at a time the Southeast is pushing for Nigerian president of Igbo extraction. In a statement issued by the President's General, Aneze Ndigbo Youth Council worldwide, Mazi Uku Nabuike, the group said Wazirike's action was not surprised, claiming that the former Mozob leader is known to be a man ready to trade off himself for peanuts at every slightest opportunity. Similarly, the coalition of Southeast youth leaders, a youth group in the Southeast geopolitical zones, has rejected move by the Biafran independent movement to support the presidential ambition of Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello. A statement issued on Monday by the President General of the youth group, Goodluck Ibem, alleged that the founder of BIM, Chief Rav Wazirike, had earlier disclosed that the group would support Bello to become Nigerian president in 2023. The coalition lamented while Wazirike, who is agitating for the actualization of Biafra, would endorse an aspirant from another geopolitical zone. Moving on, still talking politics, Jonathan Zwingina, a former Deputy Senate Majority Leader, said Southeast Zone dominated over 90% of the economy during the administration of ex-President Goodluck Jonathan, and no one complained. Zwingina said this while speaking with newsmen, as he insisted that Southeast will not get the presidency on a platter of gold. According to him, the region should not sit back and expect political parties like the All Progressive Congress to zone the country's #1 seat to them, advising that the elites must engage in discussion with the political elites from other zones. The lawmakers pointed that the Southeast was not the only region left to produce the president, insisting that while the region had even produced the country's leaders once in its history, the North Central has not had the chance at all. He said, quote, "I think the issue of zoning is understandable, but we must first of all look at the fact that the issue of zoning first arose during the military era and then the context of the crisis of June 12th, end of quote. He said that these days zoning has been crafted as if it is going to be by faith, noting that zoning is a matter that should be discussed among political parties to reach a consensus of political parties and not something to be forced on individuals of politics. Report from People's Democratic Party says the party has screened 143 aspirants for the 25-seat in Adamawa State House of Assembly. The House is currently occupied by 13 members of the governing PDP and 12 members of the main opposition, the main Progressive Congress. The chairman of the House of Assembly, National Assembly Screening Committee for the state, Right Honorable Dave Irohemba, disclosed these today to OneTV network in Adamawa State Capital. Yola said 144 applied for the screening, but one did not attend the screening. Dave Irohemba, a former Speaker of Benue State House of Assembly, made this known at the weekend just before leaving Yola after the screening exercise. And now to Osun State, where the running mate to Accord Party candidate in the 2022 state gubernatorial election, Kunle Jimo, has revealed that 7 other political parties have indicated interest in forming a broad-based coalition with Accord Party. He said the coalition would further help its push to snatch victory from the ruling All Progressive Congress, though he was silent on the names of the said political parties. He also assured the Osun electorate that the Accord Party will come out victorious in the July 16th gubernatorial election in the state. Jimo, who is running mate to Akin Ogunbiyi, the Osun Accord Party gubernatorial candidate, disclosed this to journalists in Osogbo last Saturday. We've got a very short break. We'll be right back with more news stories after that. Just stay with us. Welcome back. Many thanks for joining us. Still on the OneTV network, Global News right here. Eid al-Fitr is a happy occasion for Muslims to feast and rejoice with one another. It is also a day to give thanks to the Almighty Allah for all His blessings and rewards after the fasting period. OneTV visited the Muslim prayer ground at Marwan Port Harcourt, where prayers were observed by Muslims. They believe the event is a gathering for celebration.
Today is a day of joy to us. Today is a day of celebration. Today is a day of merriment. Today is a day of togetherness, and today is the day that, yes, is a sharing of gift items. And today is a day that we are thanking Almighty Allah who have been with us in the last 30 days. 30 days we are in fasting. We are into fasting and prayers that we have done in the last 30 days. Alhamdulillah, we are out today to thank Almighty Allah for the grace that He has given to us and the mercy that He has given to us in the last 30 days. So we are together today. It's a day of joy to us that we are gathered to thank Almighty Allah, because Allah.
Similarly, the former governor of Ondo State, Dr. Olusegun Mimika, has urged Muslims and the entire Nigerian populace to remember the needy in society as Muslims faithful celebrate Eid al-Fitr, the end of the holy month of Ramadan. The former governor said this in a press statement signed by John Paul Akinduro, his special assistant to media and digital communications, adding that the teachings of the 30 days of fasting and supplication must not be forgotten. Mimika said the country has reached a crossroad where people of all religions must work together to propel the country forward. Former governor maintained that Nigeria is a blessed nation, adding that her strength is in her diversity. Away from that, the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Dr. Epalabo Harry Banigo, says Governor Nyesom Wike is very passionate about attaining universal health care for those who work and do business in Rivers State. Dr. Banigo stated this during the 2022 first quarter meeting of the Rivers State Task Force on Immunization and Primary Health Care at the Government House in Port Harcourt. The Deputy Governor, who expressed appreciation to members of the task force, which cut across various sectors and ministries, departments and agencies of government for their contributions, however, said the state still has issues with vaccine, the rideable polio circulating, even though the government has attained polio eradication status as part of the drive all over Africa. She said there are also been a seasonal outbreak of Lassa fever and sporadic cases of measles, which the state immunization team would deal with in the course of time, adding that vaccination campaigns and supplemental campaigns have to be undertaken to ensure we strengthen our epidemic surveillance and response team as a state. And now to security, the operative of Ogun State Police Command have arrested 4 members of the dreaded Aye Court group who are suspected to have killed one Shegun Onifada on the 20th of April 2022. The Command Public Relations Officer Abimbola Oyeyemi disclosed this in a statement issued in Abeokuta, said the arrest was in continuation of the war on cultism and other vices in the state. According to Oyeyemi, the suspects who have been on the wanted list of the command were arrested following an information received by policemen at Ilaro Divisional Headquarters that the suspects were holding a nocturnal meeting at the high event behind Eleje Primary School, Igbo Eware, in the state. And straight to Enugu, where residents of the state in Ezike in Igbo Eze, North Local Government area of Enugu State, are in shock after a video where a young girl was viciously raped by 2 men in community went viral. In the video, the girl was seen begging the men who are yet to be identified to stop violating her, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The girl was heard on the video begging them, referring to her abusers as brothers in the local Enugu Ezike dialect, but the men who also spoke the same dialect rather forced her to forcefully penetrating her. She was also heard begging the men to stop making the video, which is now trending on social media. Still talking security, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has dragged the federal government to Court of Appeal to challenge the amended 7 charges on terrorism granted by Justice Binta Yanko of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The IS is challenging the decision of the court as contained in the ruling and final decision retaining counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 15 of the amended charge delivered on April 8, 2022, according to the court proceedings obtained in Abuja Monday. While Justice Nyanko struck out counts 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 of the charge. She okayed Kano's trial counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 15. Kano in the suit at the Abuja Division of Court of Appeal filed by Michael Zekome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor said the trial judge erred in law by failing to consider or make finding of fact and according to pronounce an issue one raised for trial counsel determination relating to extraordinary rendition of the appellate court. Hundreds of proposals by local and international firms for security of railways across the country are reportedly being submitted to the Nigerian Railway Corporation following the bombing of the Abuja-Kaduna train on March 28, 2022 by terrorists. It was gathered on Sunday that the proposals were due to the declaration of the federal government that it would install security gadgets and facilities to help forestall terror attacks and training. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, added after the March 28 attack on the Abuja-Kaduna train stated that the federal government, through the NRC, would install security sensor on the rail tracks. Still watching OneTV Network News. The news return after this break, so stay with us. Welcome back. This is OneTV Global News, and many thanks for joining us. And now to more news stories. The headquarters of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Nigerian Army, as well as the Federal Ministry of Finance, among others, suffered blackout due to the vandalism of the power network in the Central Business District of the Federal Capital Territory. In a notice to power user in Nigeria's capital city, the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company stated that the vandalism caused a power outage in the CBD and some other areas in the FCT. This came as power distribution companies under the aegis of the Association of Nigerian Electricity Distribution stated that a total of 8,039,100.70 power were vandalized between April 2nd and April 8, 2022. Still ahead, Spain dictates Pengus, plus other stories after this break. Just stay with us. OneTV Network Global News. And now to some academic stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has given indication that it would extend the ongoing strike if the federal government fails to meet its demands. National Chairman of ASU, Emmanuel Sodike, said the body would meet and possibly extend the strike if the government failed to meet its demands. Speaking with Newsmail, Sodike said President Muhammadu Buhari could direct Vice President Yemi Osinbajo to handle the negotiations, insisting that the issue is now beyond the Minister of Labour. It will be recalled that the ASU has been on strike since February 2022. And now to sport. Apostle John C. Suleiman of Omega Fire Ministry out here Jos State has reacted to Arsenal Premier League away 2-1 victory against West Ham United Sunday. Suleiman said he felt like buying suya for Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta, adding that his game plan against West Ham was good. 2 goals from Rob Holding and Gabriel gave Arsenal all 3 points against West Ham. The result means Arsenal are in the 4th position of the log with 2 points ahead of 5th place Tottenham with 4 after 34 matches. Arsenal's next game is against Leeds United on May 8th at Emirates Stadium. Spanish authorities have announced that the mobile phones of Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez and Minister of Defense Margarita Robles were tapped using Pegasus spyware in an illicit and external intervention. According to government sources, it is not a supposition, they are facts of enormous gravity. Felix Bolaños, an aide of Prime Minister Sanchez, said we are absolutely certain that it was an external attack because in Spain, in a democracy like ours, all such interventions are carried out by official bodies and with judicial authorization, he said. He noted that in this case, neither of the 2 circumstances prevailed, which is why the Spanish government is certain that it was an external intervention. He, however, did not say whether the Spanish authorities had any indication yet where the attack originated from or whether another country was behind it. And to Russian-Ukraine issue, Nigeria has an opportunity to profit from Europe's plan to pull the plug on the importation of Russian gas in the wake of Moscow's war with Ukraine. The International Energy Association, a Paris-based think tank that draws up energy policies for Western countries, has published a 10-point plan that would help Europe cut its dependence on Russian gas, and this could open new markets for Nigeria and other gas producers. With that interesting news, we've come to the end of the OneTV Network Global News. Before we go, another look at our top stories for tonight. Virtue report that Sule Lamido has won Jonathan over defection to APC. We did mention also 143 PDP aspirants registered for Adamawa House of Assembly screening. And President Muhammadu Buhari has decried frequency of building collapse in Nigeria. And Spain detected Pegasus spyware on PM Defense Minister's phones. And that's it on OneTV Network News. Many thanks for watching. I am Flora Duke. Bye for now.